in our show today. So this is going to be broadcast on radio. We're going to cut it up into pieces and play some of the music and have some of the conversations. I will cut out the Kardashian bit. I just don't need the heat right now. But I just thought, well, I was riffing and I just really felt like sharing with you people how I really fucking feel about that band. I used to live in Malibu, California, and I don't even want to get into it. Anyway, just kidding. You're gonna get in trouble. Cameras everywhere. My next guest is a living legend and a friend whose music is so powerful. And I tried to cover his song one time when we were doing an acoustic tour that ended up at Carnegie Hall. And to say it was impossible to do it justice as a singer because it was just so good, I ended up bailing on the idea because I just couldn't do a half-assed version of one of my favorite songs. And this gentleman has written some of my favorite songs of all time, including Dean, To Be Treated, Seed of Memory, Faith to Arise, River, and Bang Bang. So please welcome, well, it'll just be you, me, and Terry Reid. Thanks for doing this, Terry. You got the mic.
Yeah.
Now they hear you.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
How did we meet, Terry?
Oh, this was a good one. I get a phone call one day. Right. I had a guitar. Well, I had a guitar. I had a guitar at the time, and I was figuring, well, this guitar, it's very close to me, but I want to sell it because it's worth quite a bit of money. But it'd be nice to, somebody really treat it seriously and buy it from me because it was very close to me for years and nobody was getting serious about what they were offering me for the guitar. And then I get a call from this fella one day, from Joe. And he says, I'm Joe Bonamassa. I said, yes, I know you. Right? He says, you seriously want to sell the guitar? And I went, yeah. So he offered me a price. He said, cash? And I went, absolutely. So he said, what are you doing tomorrow? And I went, well, nothing I can think of. He said, how about 11 o'clock? And I went, okay. So we drove up to the desert where I live, right? I said, lovely, good to meet you. So he walks in, the guitar's sitting there. Joe picks it up. There he goes. He said, wait. He's locked into the guitar. Went, oh, this is going good. Right? After a while, he puts the guitar down and darts out the door. And I thought, well, that was close. I'm just that far from getting the sale. My God. And then he walks back in with a briefcase, right? And I go, oh, and he says, there, count that. No, I'm not sitting there counting all that money, right? Right. But it was that's how we met.
That's how we met.
Yeah.
I got your number from a mutual friend that we had in Southern California.
Right.
And because other people were trying to sell me your guitar through them.
Yeah.
For more money.
Yeah. Right.
So I was like a big fan, obviously. And I was like, so I get your number and I call you up and I said, hi, this is Joe Bonamassa. and your first words, oh, hey, Joe. And I said, you're serious about selling the guitar? And this is verbatim, and this is why I love Terry Reid. I will always love this. Because, Joe, I want to sell the guitar, but nobody wants to fucking pay me.
It's the fucking truth.
Is it true?
Yeah. No,
And I said, Terry, I'll pay you.
Yeah, exactly. We're jokers,
And that was the beginning of our friendship. This was in 2013, maybe?
Yeah, it was.
Almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously, you know, you go back to a time where I wish I was there participating in some of the greatest music. You were telling me the story upstairs. I mean, just tell the folks about how you got booked on the Stones tour. Next thing you know, you're playing the Mikey Club, and next thing you know, you're at the Albert Hall trying to get yourself sing.
Yeah, this is great. As we both know in this business, as we were just talking before about the hobby of being a rock star and all of that whole thing, which is, I don't know, I was living at home, I was going to school, and I was 14, 15 years old. And then what we call it in the summer holidays, or recess, whatever you call it, comes along. And we'd had an amateur band, we're playing pubs and playing everywhere and that, and doing really good, earning some money, right? Everything's going good. You go to school in the day, and God, the homework, I think I was paying my friend to do the homework. It's a lot better way of doing things. You know? And he loved the money anyway, right? So this is going along quite well. And then we started going to London, and we're doing a club called the Mikey Club, which is famous now. And as it was, we'd done it a couple of times, and then a friend who became the mentor of mine, called Peter J, who'd been in the business for quite a long time, asked me to join and sing and play guitar in his band. So I said, well, this is a big move. I have to move to London. It's like bye-bye. My mum wasn't too happy, you know. I'm just 15, right? So off I go to London, and Peter got me an apartment. I get there. That week we played the Mikey Club, and okay, so Mick Jagger and Keith Richards came there. I didn't see them at first, right? So we played the set. He came backstage with Uncle Stu, we call him, Stuart, you know, who used to play piano and roadie and everything else. So he came backstage and says, okay, the guys want you to go on the tour. And I said, what tour? He said, the Stones. I said, are you serious? He goes, yeah. I went, he said, you want to do it? I said, I'd love to. Let's go, right? And he said, okay. I said, when is it? He said, tomorrow. I swear to you, tomorrow. So I said, well, we got all the gear. What he said, I'll just leave the gear. I'll take care of the gear. I'll see you at the gig. I said, where's the gig? He said, the Albert Hall. I went, the first gig is the Albert Hall. I said, rehearse? I'll forget rehearsals. It's like my mate Mick Taylor says, why ruin a good gig by rehearsing? Right? That's easy for him to say, as he plays so well, right? Yeah. So we turn up, and I'm thinking, that rock star thing, you know, starts to go, well, they'll hear me sing, and they'll love my vocals and my guitar playing, and this is my chance. This is it, right? And then I'm starting to really think this is a real thing, right? I get to the Albert Hall, the show starts, never heard a thing. That was it. Never heard myself sing, never heard, it was a screamer's tour. Now, no, this is the whole of the ball game. I've been sitting at home as a kid, right, watching it on TV and going, laughing, thinking it's all very funny getting, you know, stomped on, right? And these riots and girls just going absolutely insane.
It's a problem that I have a lot.
Yeah, it's terrible when it happens. So, right? And at this time, the Albert Hall, it was interesting. You've been out there, you played.
Yeah.
And they, behind where the organ was and everything, behind the stage, there's these whole big rows of seats back there. And this night that we did it in 1965, so when we did it, there were seats all in the back. But what happened was, as soon as the Stones came on, right, there was a riot. I'm sitting on one of those back seats, just back of the stage. Everything went to black, right? Okay, came over, I still have a pain in my shoulder from some lady's heel, right? And I was telling, this is very true, right? And I thought, is this what the whole tour's going to be like? Yeah. That's exactly
so
what it was.
it basically, upon the downbeat, ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies and gentlemen,
and it just screams. That's all you can hear.
never heard a thing. And all I could hear is what bounced off the microphone in front of me,
Right.
singing wise, right? So I got through it and everything, and the funny thing was, in them days, the Stones didn't record everything. I have pictures and things like that, and so it's some Super 8 stuff and things, but you couldn't hear anything. You couldn't hear them either, right? How you kept everybody together, and what would happen, we'd go to the slow part of a song, and this actually happened, right? I went over to where the horns were playing, and they're playing a different song. No, I don't lie, okay? I cannot believe it. It's one of these. I go over like, I get over there and I go, oh shit. Now there's nothing really that you can do about it, right? You're playing the song that we play next. We did a lot of Otis Redding things with all horn parts. It was all, to say the least, it was all a lot of fun. It really is.
Tell me about the first time you came to America in 1968?
68.
And you opened for a trio.
Yeah, a trio, yes, who had enough.
Yeah, who had enough.
They had enough. It was the farewell tour.
Right. And what was the band's name?
What was it? Cream.
Yeah.
I thought half and half would be better, but no.
Yeah. And what was it like, you know, because I mean, like, because we take it for granted, because, like, you know, I grew up in the U.S., but it's a very vast country with a lot of different geography, you know, different looks. And you guys, you know, and was that like, you know, like when you were like trying to break out of London and everything, was America always a goal to conquer?
Yeah, all roads lead to that at that time of rock and roll. Is to go to America and do an American tour. Not having been there, right? That's you get there, then it's a whole other deal. That's like grass on the other side thing.
Yeah.
So we all, we're going to America, right? And the thing is I talked to Eric Clapton. It's Eric that called me and wanted us to do it, which for this day I forever, you know, he's dead too. And he said, we're doing this tour. And he said, but there's one thing. He said, if our manager calls you and says anything about not doing the tour, don't listen to him. I was Sticky.
Robert Stigwood.
Right, Robert Stigwood. Right. So I said, well, what do you mean by that? He said, well, he wants this group to do it. Nah, I want you to do it. Now, in one way, I was very flattered. But I get this call from Sticky, as we call it, man. So Stigwood calls me up and goes, Terry, this is Rob Stigwood. And I'm like, yeah. And he says, well, since you know, we have a problem with you going to the States. That's the jaw drop. So I said, well, why? Why is it you're against me? He said, well, you don't do enough blues songs. The Cream are a blues band. They're blues. Huh? I said, God, I just thought he was he sounds more like a violin at 2,000 watts.
Right.
Cream moved on the whole thing.
They were more psychedelic than straight blues.
You ain't kidding, you know. So, and I've known Eric since John Mayall, all through that whole thing, and with another group called Graham Bond organisation, right? Which Ginger Baker and Jack Bruce were actually in, right? So, Ginger, don't go there. Yeah. And so, knowing all these guys, it sort of made sense. So I said, well, I don't know what you want to do, but I called Eric and said, he's on it, here he goes. He's going to try and stop me going to America, right? And Eric says, look, I'll meet you at the airport. We're going together, right? So lovely enough, we met at the airport and I went with him to America. So, very nice era, because at that time he was really, top of the game, and he still does. He still cares for a lot of what the thing is.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, I one of the great honors of my life. I not all together, but I played music with every member of the band Cream. I played, but I played the first time I did the Royal Albert Hall. Eric was nice enough to come and play a song. I played a bunch of songs with Jack Bruce, and I played a song with Ginger Baker and he was everything as you would expect.
Who are you?
We were booked at Abbey Road Studios, Studio 2,
right.
To do a version of Sunshine of Your Love. And you're like, Bernie Marsden called me on the session. I said, dude, you had me at hello. Come on, come on, Abbey Road, Ginger Baker, Bernie Marsden. I love Bernie.
Yeah.
And Ginger walks in, and he has a minder. He's very frail at this point.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's got the double bass drum kit, and there it's set up. And we're all just kind of sitting around. He walks straight to the drum kit, doesn't say hello to anybody, does not acknowledge any other human being in the room, even though there's like 50, because they were filming this.
He did that in the beginning.
Yeah, and he sits down at the drum kit, and he grabs his sticks, and he goes. He does the beginning of Sunshine of Your Love, figuring he was just checking the drum kit because none of us were ready. None of us had headphones. He slammed the drum kit down and goes, "Where the fuck is the band?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is the greatest day of my life. I'm gonna get hit by a drumstick by Ginger Baker." But it was a wild scene.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to talk to you about is I believe you played the first Glastonbury.
Yeah.
In 1971.
One more thing, that Cream thing I just found out recently, just to interject, right, is we're doing a documentary theatre thing. It's a whole movie thing that I'm doing with Johnny, right? And we're doing this whole lot thing, and we've been investigating a lot of all these passages that we went down in these roads, and it's turned up that when we played Madison Square Gardens, I was the first one to step on the stage in a rock and roll manner.
Wow.
That was the first time they'd had rock and roll at Madison Square Gardens.
Wow.
What a trip, eh? Really.
And I just mentioned now Glastonbury is one of the most famous festivals. When you did it the first time, there's video of it, and it's you playing the guitar that I bought from you, and
Alan White on drums.
Alan White on drums.
God bless.
Rest in peace.
David Linley.
Yeah, and Alan, what I didn't notice about Alan, if he had the joint of all joints. He was passing.
It was my joint.
Oh, okay. Did you ever get any of it?
No.
Okay.
Well, you see, if you watch the little bit of movie that there is, it goes, I'm starting the guitar lick.
It was a song called Dean.
Dean, right? I'm doing it, and it's getting the groove going, right? Nobody's doing anything, right? Alan's sitting there talking on this big hash.
It's the size of a cigar, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Oh, good look at you. Yeah. So anyway, there was always the thing in bands, which I'm sure that everybody had their own stash, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, everything you got, you always broke out the joint thing.
Right.
So
it
went there, Lee Miles got it, right? Went round there, and Lee passes it to somebody on the side of the stage. And I go, I'm playing, going, what's going on here? But by that time, it's a foregone conclusion. We're already into the.
And it's a great video because you see a very young David Lindley
as
well. Who went to play a lot with Jackson Brown and he was in your band and it was
that was a great band.
Slamming. It was a great band. Slamming.
Yeah, well I put that band together. Lee Miles and myself, who was with Ike and Tina Turner.
Right.
And I'd known Ike and Tina Turner so well because of that first Stones tour we were just talking about. And we all toured together, which is a big thing. And I saw Lee Miles, the bass player, the actual quintessential R&B bass player,
Right.
And I saw it and fell in love. I couldn't believe it. He's so fast, and it was everything I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I persuaded him, long story short, to move to England, which was a big move to get out of Ike's band for a start.
Right.
That's not an easy thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Right. So he did, and he left for another experience and joined it with me, and we put the band together. Then we got David Lindley, and then we got Alan White to join us, who was working with John Lennon doing Imagine at the time.
Wow.
And so there was a whole thing going in England at that time, which was just fantastic. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
And everybody was behind everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I get a call one day. There was a thing whereas if you miss doing a gig and it cancelled because of double booking or something at a place, like especially universities and that, you're in big trouble. 3 times you're out, right? So we got this one place, Loughborough University, and we done 2 times. We cancelled out. 3rd time, Alan tells me he's working with John down at the studio doing Imagine. I can't do the gig. I went, this is murder. I said, you sure there's nothing you do? He said, well, I'll ask John and we'll see what happens. So he goes down the studio. I get a call. Hello, this is John Lennon. I went, oh, hello. He says, yeah, mate, what? So he says, look, I'll tell you about this. He says, oh, you can't let this happen. He says, it's not going to happen. He says, what you got to do? He says, our band had the same problem, and 3 times he said, they'll blackball you. You won't play that circuit. I went, your band had the same. Oh yeah, right. It suddenly dawned on me, right? And he's so humane about the thing. He says, I'll send Alan up tomorrow. You've got to do the gig, right? Which is really genuine, you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, because this is on radio, tell the folks on the radio and here in the audience, are you working the rest of the year? Tell them about your tour and your plans going forward.
Right. Well, we just started back up again after all of this, and I'm doing a gig in London in November, which is one that's been postponed so many times. I don't know where we were with it, but it's great. It's all, it's nearly sold out or something, they said. And we're doing that in November at the Jazz Cafe.
Nice.
Right, which will be really good. Then we just started work on this documentary movie thing. So the way it started is I was working with Joe Perry and Johnny Depp, and we were all in the studio there up at Johnny's. And we all became really, really good friends. I've known Joe for years, right? But and John's a good guy. He loves everything rock and roll, you know. So we're recording and we sit like we are, telling stories about things, and he loves all this stuff, right, from the day. And he says, you know, you should do a documentary. You should do a real, but like a movie. And he gets these visions and all that. He does because he's like that. Yeah. And I said, yeah, but it's all right for you to say that. He said, well, I'll tell you, I've got a movie company and a publishing company, film company and everything. I'll put it together. And I said, anyway, you know, I think he's serious. Yeah. Right? So
when Jack Sparrow tells you he's going to make a movie, he's going to make a movie.
There's sort of no stopping him.
There's no stopping him.
He's on a mission.
Right?
For the next few days, he's, I got this idea, here we go. So gently, I'll just say, we've signed off on it. And we start that when I get back to the
Such
States.
a great story. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Terry Reid. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for coming. You'll hear this on Sirius XM on the Bluesville channel every week. They'll be to your show. And again, thank you to Mark Broussard and of course Tommy Emmanuel. Good night.